hydrated out here. But growing up in the heat, I think you kind of are accustomed to it a little bit more than people that aren't from humid areas too. So it's not really going to bother me. I wouldn't mind having the breeze all week though.
Well, only one woman can come in as the defending U.S. Open champion, and that is Arya Jatanagar, and she is from Thailand. She is not concerned about the heat, but she is searching for her second straight U.S. Women's Open title. She's been to Charleston before. She's seen this course, tested out the town, seen the sights. Now she's ready to defend her title. She said the best thing she did after winning last year, taking the trophy back to Thailand. She's all business this week as she tries to win it again. She knows the significance of what this means.
I learned to not think about the score too much. Like what I said before on my final round is I play like absolutely like great in my fortnight. Like to me it's like unbelievable. I'm never gonna play that good again. I felt like I still have to come back to myself and like stick with my process. Because like when I'm thinking about the score, like especially like thinking about like 7-shot lead, it's not helped me to even hit a good golf shot.
One of the top Americans in the field, 24-year-old Lexi Thompson. She played her first 2 days of practice with high school amateurs in the field. One of the reasons Lexi practices with them, 12 years ago. She played in the U.S. Women's Open as a 12-year-old. Now she's a top 10 player in the world, but that experience back in 07 helping her put her in that position right now.
Hey, it's okay. When I was 12, I couldn't reach those fairways. I was aiming for the mode strips, walking up to them. You know, it's a big difference from 12 years old to now. When I was 12, I was starstruck by a lot of the players there. I was like, oh my gosh, there's Lorena Ochoa, Annika. And it was just an unbelievable moment just to be there, and I think that's when I realized that I wanted to play out on the LPGA Tour. Perfect. Great, thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
So Lexi, a star on the tour now, but how about the stars of the future? Scotty, who she practiced with this week, those stories pretty incredible too.
Yeah, we met Mega Gane on Monday. Her eyes as big as the fairways out here at the Country Club of Charleston. She couldn't believe the practice round she was about to play. Amazing the difference a week makes.
The New Jersey State Championship was super fun. I've never played in a high school state championship before because that was also a really big deal for me.
This is a little bigger deal?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bigger deal, but yeah, it's everything I've been doing is great preparation. I've never played anything close to something this big before, and I don't know what to expect, but I know it's going to be great.
Yeah, you heard that correctly, and that's the exact thing that makes the U.S. Women's Open so special, so unique. If you're good enough, you can get in. So the best players in the world are here. So is a 15-year-old from the Garden State, a week removed from that high school showdown.
I'm going to play my best. I've always wanted to know what it's like to play among the best players in the world. I always follow them, and it's something you like look at every day of your life through like a screen, and like I just want to know what it's actually like to be out there.
Her practice round playing partner, aim high kid, Lexi Thompson.
It's crazy. I see her on TV all the time, and I don't even know what I'm gonna say to her, if I'm gonna even be able to talk to her. It's gonna be unbelievable.
And Mega not carrying her own bag this week either.
Christian, he's the best caddy here he's a celebrity at this golf course. Everybody knows him, and he shot 62 here, so I think he knows what he's doing.
But just think, 2 good rounds, she's a celebrity herself, playing on the weekend. 4 good rounds, she's a 15-year-old worldwide rock star.
It still doesn't, I feel like I'm a spectator here, not a player, but I can't wait to play.
The thing is, if she wins the tournament, she does not win $1. She is an amateur. She does get a nice trophy. But 2 of the top amateurs that arrived here in Charleston are no longer amateurs. They turn pro here in the Low Country, so they can both win the cash.
A potential $1 million payday for these first-time playing pros. Jennifer Kupcho, a former Wake Forest Demon Deacon, she won that first illustrious Augusta National Women's Amateur, made a worldwide splash, but she has gone pro, declaring herself this week eligible to win that money. She literally unwrapped her pro golf ID, her tour card, in front of our camera earlier this week. And now that she's in the field, she thinks there's less pressure as a pro than as an amateur.
Yeah, Maria Fosse, also a pro now, less than a week after winning the national title at the University of Arkansas. The Mexican golfer has simply been dominant in some of the biggest tournaments in the world. Now she wants to take her game to the next level, professional golf.
I would say playing as an amateur, the professionals tend, nothing against them, but they tend to look down on amateurs. I think to be on the same level as them, obviously I'm a rookie, so I'm sure there will still be the same things, but I think definitely amateur is a little bit more intimidating.
It's amazing. I mean, I could have not asked for a better pairing for my pro debut, and it's just going to be so much fun. We're lucky that we got that pairing. I know I'm going to enjoy it a ton. And not only I know them, but I know we're going to be playing great golf as well, so it's going to be fun to see them hit good shots, and hopefully I can make some good ones too.
So if you didn't pick up on that, those two paired to play together tomorrow and Friday. They're also paired with Sierra Brooks. A week ago Monday, she was golfing for the Florida Gators down in Fayetteville, trying to beat those two. Nearly won a national championship, instead finished second. She'll be used to the big stage. She is still playing as an amateur, and she's one to watch this week at the Open.
To make it, big up in your mind, but I just want to come in with the same mindset that I have for every golf tournament and get a good game plan out here and just soak in and enjoy the week. I'm looking forward to the pairing that I have as well the first 2 days, and playing with girls that I compete with, all year. So I think that'll alleviate some of the pressure as well.
Well, stay with us. Much more to come, including the story of Stacy Lewis fighting for her rights here in Charleston. We'll explain after the break.
Water, water, and more water. Not just for the golfers, for this golf course. You got to keep the greens and fairways and tee boxes hydrated. So important this week. The USGA wants the greens rolling at about a 12.5 on the stemp meter. With the heat, the water is crucial to keep the greens under control. And Scotty, I can confidently say as a non-golfer, that's the first time I've ever read a stemp meter reading.
It means when you roll it down the ruler, how far the ball goes. That's basically how far it keeps going. A normal golf course would be like an 8 or a 9. This is like 12, 13, so it's fast.
But you don't want it concrete fast, which is the reason.
Then it's just not fair. It's like glass. The players don't like that. The players do like the camaraderie they have out here. The old, the new, the legends and the future stars, they all really do get together here at the USGA's biggest event. Legends of the game, women who have won before out on the course, offering help, offering advice to those who are playing it now. Their love for the game bridges the gap. The legends care about where the sport is heading. We asked Julie Inkster and Hollis Stacy, with 5 U.S. Women's Open championships between them, the keys to success at this tournament this week in Charleston.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of a USGA championship. They test all your mental and physical abilities, but I try to eat a little bit every 3 or 4 holes and make sure you have plenty of liquids. But it's a marathon and it's a lot of golf.
To be the most forgiving of yourself when you make your boo-boos, because this is the week that the more you dig yourself in a little hole, the more energy it takes to climb out of it. So I just say, be forgiving. I know it's hard.
I'll tell you what, the best picture I saw online all week was Meg Mallon. When she arrived here in Charleston, she checked in to the Marriott downtown. On the elevator door was her holding up her hand. She had just won the U.S. Women's Open. It brought back an amazing memory for her.
It's one thing we've heard all week from those who have played in this tournament and who are yet to play in it, how important this week and how much it means to those who play in it, especially the ones who hoist the trophy like Meg Mallon. She's one of the few former players who is very familiar with the Country Club of Charleston, because year in, year out, she tags along handing out bottles of water and cool towels to kids at the Beth Daniel Jr. Azalea. She knows the heat, she knows Charleston, she knows the tournament, and she knows how special this entire experience can be.
I know, remember that poor boy from Pittsburgh that had never been in heat like this? Because in August, best event's in August, so the humidity is even worse. At that time, it was hot. But that was fun to go through. But it's great to have this event here. Have a U.S. Women's Amateur here at a wonderful venue. Great Seth Rayner design. I think it's so fantastic that they're showcasing not only Country Club of Charleston, but the city of Charleston. And I think everybody's going to have a great time this week. So I was pretty exhausted coming into Colonial, and you think it was hot here. It was 105 at Colonial. They had to put ice on the greens. They had to put fans behind the holes. It was just like this, but so hot. So it was an exhausting weekend. But I was the only player under par at 1 under, and ended up winning. And it was great because my parents were there. I mean, you always love it when you can share it with your family.
As for this tournament in particular, very few know the U.S. Women's Open better than Cristie Kerr. 22 consecutive U.S. Open appearances, 24 career appearances. She's one of the most successful women of all time in the game of golf. Career earnings around $19 million. But she is just excited now as she was in her first career appearance in the U.S. Women's Open.
I think this is honestly one of the best U.S. Open golf courses I've seen in a long time, and the condition of it is just perfect. The layout's great. I mean, there's a mix of holes. You've got long par 4s. You've got some wedges you can make birdie with. It's a great course.
What players will do to get inside the ropes at the U.S. Open.
Even without a shot at the $1 million.
I know. It is incredible what players will do. Just ask Laura Foomstuk. A familiar face in a familiar place, but this is far from familiar.
yeah, I said I'm not sure if I can be a big help, but I can definitely entertain her and yeah, be there for her.
Laura Foomstuk, crazy good at the College of Charleston, always a Cougar, now prowling on the European tour.
Yes, well, I tried to qualify, and I did not have a very good day, so I didn't make the qualifier, but one of my great friends did, and Haley Davis, so I told her, I'm a bit jealous you get to go to Charleston, and she said, well, you can come caddy, and I said, oh, I got the week off, yeah, sure, I'll come.
It ain't no leisurely stroll. Laura looping and learning.
My ranking on the European tours at the moment is good enough to be in the British Open this year. So I said, well, if I come out and caddy for her, then I should be able, to learn a bit, not be as starstruck when I get to the British Open, and just, take it all in already. And then when I get to the British Open, I'll be a bit more prepared to play my first major.
It's a pretty tough week to be a caddy carrying the bag. It's like 100 degrees outside.
That's true, but I talked to her for about a week and said, if you bring your tour back, I'm gonna die. So I said, okay. She just brought the little carry back, so yeah, I think I'll be all right. I mean, I've lived in this for 4 years, so.
And one tip for Laura to pass on to her player: always tip your caddy. Plenty more stories coming up. We'll hear the Stacy Lewis story we told you about earlier, and we're catching up with Charleston's legend, Beth Daniel, after the break.
$6:15.
So 6:15 in the last block?
2:15 for Stacy, 2:30 for Beth Daniel, and a minute
for talking. Yeah, that's perfect. 2:15 for Stacy Lewis. 5:45? Okay, that should work. I'll just toss to Stacy Lewis really quickly. And
How
then
long is Beth Daniel?
Beth Daniel's 2:15.
Okay, yeah, so we're fine, because if we don't need a full minute for that last.
Yeah, we could just kind of talk. We could use that last minute to talk. Just kind of give us a 30 seconds, 20,
and
10.
we want to go out. We want to go out around 10 at least.
And roll that video.
We have the scenic bump out video or whatever.
Abby, why can't all producers be like you?
You're awesome. And Spencer directing.
Yes.
And Jason photography.
It's a
photographering.
Power couple there in the control room.
Welcome back live to the Country Club of Charleston. Scotty, hours away from the first round of the U.S. Women's Open.
One of those ladies teeing it up, Stacy Lewis. She is well-versed in golf in the Southeast. She was a star for the University of Arkansas. She has played in plenty of these tournaments. She has won 2 majors. But this was a hurdle. just to get in. There's just something special about the U.S. Women's Open. What would it mean to win here on Sunday?
Mean the world.
There's something even more special about this U.S. Women's Open.
Vacationed here as a kid. We lived in Anderson, South Carolina until I was 9, so it really is like coming home. And I love this area. I love, going to the market and just all the old houses. It's just such a cool spot.
But what's most special is that she's here. Not Stacy. She's played in 12 straight Opens. Her daughter Chesney, born in October.
It's awesome, to walk off the green and see her back here, and it makes you forget about golf, really. She's my whole world, and just puts everything in perspective.
The family work trip to Charleston, where this story gets a bit complex. Before maternity leave, Stacy Lewis was good to go, ranked high enough to be in the field. After taking time off to have a baby, she dropped to the point where she'd have to qualify. She spoke up, and the USGA listened.
I saw some people from the USGA today, and I just told them thank you. It's great to be here to play at your national championship and to have an opportunity to win, and looking forward to seeing the changes that they make to the maternity policy down the road.
Stacy Lewis has won 2 majors, plenty of other tournaments, but her biggest win, the fight she fights for others in this individual sport.
A lot of times you fight for things and you don't see changes happening, and it's just nice to see people paying attention and realizing that it is an issue and it is something that we need to change, and hopefully make it better for the girls coming behind me, that they don't have to make a choice between having a family and having a baby.
Being here an Open win. Now she'll play for another.
And maybe no one better to talk to about this tournament than Charleston's own World Golf Hall of Famer. Beth Daniel literally grew up coming to this golf course, maybe on this golf course. She hosts a junior tournament here every year. And Scotty, you spoke with her earlier this week.
Well, it's been years talking with Beth Daniel about this tournament being here at her home course. Beth, it's finally here. Is it kind of bizarre for you to walk onto the grounds?
I said in some ways it's kind of sad that it's finally here. We've had all this build-up for 2 years trying to, sell this thing out and get it perfect and everything else, and now the week is here. It's great, but it's, course looks great, clubhouse looks great, everything looks really, really good.
What do players need to do? I mean, the heat is going to be the story this week. It's going to be 100 degrees every single day. Like you said, they're going to be dumping water on the course, so it's not going to get too fast. But how do players kind of handle that marathon?
Well, I think what's going to happen is you're not going to see players practicing after the round as much. You're not going to see them playing as many holes and practice rounds, just to kind of keep up their endurance for the week, because it really is an endurance test. The U.S. Open always tests you physically and mentally, and you'll have to make sure that you're right for that.
Biggest thing you have to do on this course? Is it driving well? Is it putting well? Is it your short game? What is it about this course that you have to do well to succeed here?
I really think it's a second shot golf course. These greens are big when you look at them, but they're really small in their targets. So wherever they put the pin, you've got to quarter the greens off so that you make sure that you get the ball in the right quadrant. So I think you'll see really good iron players kind of rise to the top here.
Final question for you. It's been 12 years since retirement. Are weeks like this ones that make you go, oh, I kind of wish I was out there? Or are weeks like this make you say, I enjoy being in the clubhouse? It's kind of nice.
Well, it's kind of nice just watching all these players that I know and that I'm friends with. But, yeah, there would have been a point in time in my career where I would have loved to have had a U.S. Open at my home golf course. But it didn't happen then, but I'm glad it's happening now.
Perfect. That's Beth Daniel, the unofficial host. What are we calling you? The ambassador, unofficial host? What are we calling you this week?
Honorary co-host with Darius Rucker.
Honorary co-host with Darius Rucker. I like that. Beth Daniel here at the Country Club of Charleston. All right, so we're starting to wrap things up. Daren, your takeaway from 3 days of practice rounds.
We've just heard how much this means to the players. We know it is the biggest golf tournament of the year for them. It's the biggest purse of prize, $5.5 million total, more than $1 million to the winner. I think just setting in on how big of a deal this is and how the heat will be a factor not only for the players but for the course.
Yeah, Charleston has shown they can handle women's golf. Up at Rivertown a couple years ago, the Ginn Tribute, it did very well. I mean, Bobby Ginn kind of went bankrupt after, but the tournament did very well. As for the players they love playing down here, most of them are used to the heat, but I think this heat in May is something that's going to creep up on them. They've really got to get off their feet after the round. They've got to get in the cold tub, whatever they got to do to be prepared for the weekend, because it is not going to be an easy one. The USGA always makes it a tough but fair course.
They want to test their golfers. Also, what will test them, we've heard over and over, second shot golf course, hole number 11, certainly one of those.
Hole number 11 is huge. For Daren Stoltzfus, I'm Scott Eisberg. We're looking forward to this week with you here at the Country Club. Smooth.
Yeah, I like that. It's a half hour so much quicker.
Thank you.
You can't expect for a subject that I don't feel confident in.
Hey, so we have to do that sportscast twice now, Spence. We have to do it with ABC shirts, and then we have to do it with Fox shirts. We'll do ABC first, yeah. If you get it, and then have them send it to the server for ABC and for Fox. Okay.
And we do have to do a Fox A bucket. I forgot about that. We can drag something over.
Okay. Why don't you toss to my package for the A block?
Foom soup. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then the Fox Sports.
And Fox Sports.
Okay.
And then so Fox Sports and then Fox A block. I'll toss to
put
Scotty.
that in the middle so I can see it.
Or do you want it, since it's your package, do you want it to?
That's fine.
Toss it. Oh, yeah. Forgot you didn't do this. Practice is over.